Hey guys, welcome to From Pixels to Plastic, the show that's all about your favorite video game characters turned action figures. I, of course, am your host, Pixel Dan, and guess what we're going to talk about today? Sonic the Hedgehog. What? I know, I've talked about Sonic the Hedgehog in a couple different episodes in the past, but you know what? When I find cool toys, I just got to share them with you. And you know what? I might have very well have found the definitive Sonic the Hedgehog action figure. What's that, you say? Yes, this could be the perfect Sonic toy. And if you guys are big Sonic the Hedgehog fans, you're probably going to want to check this guy out. So today we're going to take a look at the Sonic the Hedgehog Nendoroid. What's a Nendoroid, you ask? Well, sit back, relax, and let Pixel Dan show you exactly what it is. Before we go on, I suppose I should explain what a Nendoroid figure is. Nendoroid is a brand of small action figures produced by the Japanese company Good Smile. There are figures produced specifically with the collector in mind, and are usually based on characters from anime or manga. The distinguishing feature on the Nendoroid line is the fact that the figures usually stand about 4 inches tall, and are done in a chibi or super deformed style. This particular style lends itself pretty well to Sonic the Hedgehog, and thus brings us to the Sonic the Hedgehog Nendoroid figure from Good Smile. The Sonic the Hedgehog Nendoroid comes in a window box, fully showcasing the figure within. Of course, since this is an import from Japan, you won't be able to read any of the wording on the box unless you're familiar with that language. The back of the box shows off some of the poses that you can pull off with this figure, and that is just a small taste of what's to come. So let's rip into this box and take a look at everything that is included. First and foremost, let's take a look at the figure itself. Now, I mentioned earlier that the chibi style of the Nendoroids seems to lend itself perfectly to Sonic, especially if we're thinking of classic Sonic the Hedgehog, who was much more squat than the current long-legged version. Looking at the overall design here, this appears to be a bit of a combination of both classic Sonic and modern Sonic. He's short and squat, but he has some of the current features as well, such as the green eyes. But even being an amalgamation of Sonic's looks, I think it's safe to say that this is a pretty fantastic looking figure, and I'm pretty sure that any Sonic fan would be very pleased with him. This figure is incredibly customizable. What do I mean by that? Well, in typical fashion for Japanese collector figures, Sonic includes several interchangeable parts. So that way, you can mix and match pieces to find your desired look for posing. Of the interchangeable parts, Sonic includes the following: a pair of open hands, a pair of closed fists, one pointing hand, and one hand giving the thumbs up. He has 2 straight legs that are standard, plus an additional bent leg that you can swap out on the right for more running poses. Then there are 3 different faces: frowning, serious, and smirking. The parts are all very easy to swap out with one another. You can pop any of the limbs right out of socket, and then replace them with your desired pieces. The face is the same, with the ability to slide right out of the head, and then be replaced with the new face of your choice. Now, one thing I will note while handling this little figure, you will often find yourself accidentally popping the limbs out of socket. It's not that they're too loose, they actually hold in place pretty well. But he's so small that while holding onto him and moving him around, it's just really easy to pull those parts off the figure. So that is something to be wary of. Now, aside from being able to swap parts, the figure also features a good range of articulation. His head is on a ball joint, so it can roll around and turn left and right. His arms have the standard forward-backward motion, and his wrists swivel at the glove cuts. His thighs are on ball hinge joints, allowing for you to get wide stances, and his feet can swivel at the shoe cuts. So mixing his articulation with all of those swappable parts will allow you for some pretty great posing options. Now here's something else that's going to help you out with posing the figure. He also includes a very nice figure stand. The stand includes an articulated stand piece that can plug into any of the peg holes seen on this base. It then plugs into Sonic's back. With the multiple peg holes on the base and all of the joints in the stand, you can use this to position Sonic in many different stances, including some standing poses, some jumping poses, and of course, the obligatory running poses. Now, if all of that wasn't enough for you, this figure also includes a slew of accessories that really makes this figure stand out even more than he already does. Here's what we've got. He includes one ring, complete with a clear stand, one Chaos Emerald, also with its own clear stand, a checkpoint to help spruce up your display, and an items container. Now, the item container is incredibly cool because you also have the ability to take this apart and insert whatever power-up you want to on the inside. So it could house an extra life, 20 coins, a force field, invincibility, or the speed shoes. With all of these accessories and your display base, you can set up one heck of a cool Sonic the Hedgehog display. So that's the Nendoroid Sonic the Hedgehog figure from the Good Smile Company. Pretty impressive, huh? I definitely think so. In fact, with this being the most customizable Sonic figure ever, with all of his interchangeable parts and included accessories, I think I can go as far as to say that this is currently the definitive Sonic the Hedgehog action figure. One downside is his price. Since he's an import from Japan, you can expect to pay upwards of $50 or more just to get a hold of him. But if you're a huge Sonic fan, I'm telling you that he is well worth it, and I would highly recommend adding this guy to your collection. If you're looking for a place to pick him up, you should check out www.bigbadtoystore.com. He's selling incredibly fast, so better catch him quick. Until next time.